So, FunPlus Phoenix, the team with the best, dumbest name in esports, are your reigning League of Legends World Champions. Yesterday, they curb stomped G2, and the worst part was, they made it look boring. It wasn't even a fun stomp. Their performance has made a lot of people ask some important questions about the future of League of Legends. Namely, how do we stop there from being a 4th straight 3-0 Grand Finals next year? So, for anyone who missed it and isn't afraid of day-old spoilers, FunPlus Phoenix essentially beat G2 into the ground for an hour and a half with no mercy. It was so bad that even LWX, FPX's AD carry, had to comment on G2's performance.
Today, I don't think it's because we performed especially well, it's because our opponents didn't really perform.
And look, you really have to hand it to FPX. They looked untouchable. LWX didn't even die a single time during the series. That's insane. Even G2's owner didn't know what to say about his team's performance.
It's complicated because I'm really sad. I'm really fuck.
A lot of European fans are heartbroken. G2 were on the way to the first ever Grand Slam in League of Legends history, and their performance all tournament made people think that they were the favorites going into Grand Finals. Meanwhile, going into Worlds, a lot of people thought that FPX was just a meme team. They were coin flippy, they were inconsistent, they played like crazy people. A lot of folks just didn't think they had what it took to win. But FPX defied those expectations and ran a clinic on the tournament favorites. Again, LWX didn't die a single time, and Gimgoon only died once at the very end of the series when it was all already over. It was, in the most polite terms, a shit stomp.
Heroes entrance into the river, and G2, they cannot find anything yet. They're chasing on Chris. They've got themselves finally one more kill, but the teleport comes up from Gimgoon. He doesn't have the charge available. All of a sudden, Mickey's down. Oh, 2, 3. LWX can find the triple. Tian gets another. G2 are aced at 22 minutes.
Anyway, this whole thing has got a lot of people asking, what happens next? The first question is the one I already mentioned. This is the 3rd straight year Worlds has ended with a 3-0 stomp, and that's not great. While viewership was pretty high this year, the game itself was kind of boring, and honestly, it feels pretty lame to end such an exciting tournament on a complete anticlimax. It leads to a few difficult problems, not least of which that it turns everyone into a goddamn nihilist. And look, I get it. After watching your favorite team get absolutely stomped into the dust, it's hard to feel like there's any hope at all. G2 was the best team the West has ever produced, so what hope does the rest of the world even have? But come on, grow a backbone. China had to get good to beat Korea and stop their era of dominance. Any region could do that, except for NA. Sorry, guys.
Please don't be mean to me. I'm not being mean to you. You're just too stupid to see it.
Look, obviously China is thrilled about this. They are 2-time world champions and their crazy meme team won a championship. Honestly, I think that means that all League fans should be happy about this. FPX has an incredible story. Between Joinbee's incredible run to where he is now, to the fact that their coach almost died this year, FPX is kind of an incredible storyline for League fans. But look, I have to imagine that even Chinese fans aren't super excited about having stayed up for a stomp. No matter how you slice it, no matter who won, a 3-0 isn't great. It's just not exciting. It's what you never want to see in esports. So how do we stop a 3-0 from happening again next year? Honestly, I don't know. Some people are suggesting double elimination brackets for future Worlds, and in theory that could help, but I don't think it would have changed anything this year. Like, are you saying that Splyce would have been able to beat FunPlus Phoenix? Sorry to Splyce, but I really don't think so. At the end of the day, the best team won. It just so happened that the best team happened to be miles better than the second best team that day.
FPX dominated the LPL, and they have dominated Worlds as well. There were doubters after the group stage, people wondering about their path here to the finals, but they leave no doubt about it in this series.
Like they have been for the last 3 years. And that's the real problem here. It just feels like there's this enormous, insurmountable gap, and that's what leads to that nihilism I talked about. But it's not on Riot to fix that. It's on all the other teams to get up to par. And speaking of which, what's gonna happen to G2? They were clearly an incredible team. They were heading towards the Grand Slam. They were tournament favorites, and then they got annihilated. In most games and most scenes, that's a recipe for a breakup. A lot of people are saying they underperformed, which maybe, but people are also saying that FunPlus Phoenix just seemed to be more prepared for G2 than any other team in the tournament. On top of that, some analysts are saying that FunPlus Phoenix just happened to be a really good counter to G2's weaknesses.
And there's no weak point. There was no place that you could attack FPX. You couldn't hit him in the draft. You couldn't hit him in the bot lane. You couldn't hit him in the top lane. Everyone stood tall on this team. And when you're more than the sum of your parts, and all of your parts look like superstars on the day, that is how you get this type of 3-0.
Anyway, the point is that hopefully G2 can stick through this. They've had a bad matchup, but they're still an incredible team, and them breaking up would be a really bad thing for the game. They were the team that pushed everyone further over the course of the year, and they almost did it. Maybe they need another year to work out some of those early game issues they have, but if you're thinking that they should blow up and start all over, you're insane. They're clearly a solid team, but they clearly just need a little bit of something to push them over the edge. Whatever that something is, I don't really know, but if I did, I'd probably be making a lot of Ocelot's money right now. Doinby knew the tech, right? He got married, went into World, won. It's the married man tech. Even if you're women, right? Just get yourself a spouse. Gender neutral, get yourself a spouse, go home, be a family man, win Worlds. Yeah, you have to go through a bad time and then get married, and that like resets your whole life, and then you've got the family man power up. Power marriage, easy. Power of love wins Worlds every time.